Megalophobia is the fear of large objects, any type of large object, and today we'll be exploring the best megalophobia animatronics and props. I'm Lilybell, and today we'll be focusing on all kinds of props, sculptures, and of course, animatronics. Don't go anywhere, because number 1 is going to leave you absolutely stunned. Comment if you made it to the end, and of course, let me know if you like my tiara. Big shout out to our members, you are the best. Now let's jump right in with the list. Starting at number 8, Ugo Ugo Animatronics, Bali, Indonesia. Let's start this list with what might be the coolest looking animatronics on the list, but also some of the most terrifying, these demons. Because, yeah, a lot of them are literally demons, come from Bali, Indonesia, and this video is going to be super international, just like our channel. So shout out to all our followers from Indonesia. Here, every year something happens that looks like it came straight from the depths of the underworld. I'm talking about the gigantic sculptures created specifically for the Engrupuk parade, which takes place the night before Nyepi, the Day of Silence. So what exactly are they? Well, they're figures that usually represent mythological beings and demons, grotesque and terrifying creatures that, according to Balinese Hindu philosophy, symbolize the Bhuta Kala. Bhuta meaning eternal energy, and Kala, meaning eternal time. In other words, they represent natural forces that must be controlled and purified. And you know how things go on this channel. Better leave a skull emoji or the giant spooky spirits will come for you. The Ugo Ugo can reach several meters in height and are carried on platforms made of wood and bamboo by groups of at least 8 people. All of this happens while Balinese orchestral music plays and flares light up the night, adding even more drama to the scene. Traditionally, these statues are made with materials like bamboo, paper, and fabric. But recently, they've become way more advanced, with animatronic elements that allow them to move, blink, and even roar. But it's like these animatronics are trying to imitate William Afton, because once the procession is over, they get burned as a symbol of purification. If their sheer size and creepy designs weren't already terrifying, imagine watching them get devoured by fire. But hey, don't worry. The most complex animatronics aren't burned. They're kept as works of... Number 7. Geisterrikscha, the giant of the underworld. And now, we're heading all the way to Germany. Shout out to all our German ducks. We know we have a lot of fans over there. And this might just be the most terrifying animatronic on the entire list. Just look at how it has all those heads embedded in its body. So, this ride is called Geisterrikscha, and it's located at Phantasialand. And yes, it's just as creepy as it sounds. In this dark ride, you calmly travel in a gondola through a nightmare world filled with dragons, spirits, haunted temples, and all kinds of things inspired by Chinese mythology. All of it is underground, and the ride feels endless. But just when you think you've made it out safe from all the spirits, boom, this thing appears. The final scene of Geisterrikscha is like a literal nightmare, because here, you come face to face with a colossal monster. And not just any monster. This is Yama, the king of the underworld. According to Chinese mythology, he is the supreme judge who decides the fate of every soul that reaches the underworld. But here, he looks like he's furious because we're trying to escape from his realm. So how does Phantasialand portray him? With a gigantic animatronic, armed with a massive club, and with multiple heads embedded into his body like trophies or captured souls. And if that's not enough to make your circuits freeze, here's the worst part. He's carrying a child. Yes, you heard that right. As if he's captured an innocent soul. Or who knows what other horrifying thing he's trying to do. But here's what makes it even scarier. This Yama isn't alone. There are human figures trying to restrain him, using ropes and chains, desperately fighting to contain him while we try to escape. It's like they're giving us the chance to flee while they hold him back, for now. Why does he have so many heads embedded in his body? Well, there are 2 theories. 1, they could be the souls of those who couldn't escape and are now trapped inside him. Or 2, they could be representations of different judges of the underworld that Yama commands. But either way, the image is so disturbing that it sticks with you long after you leave this ride. The Yama animatronic is huge, detailed, and moves in a way that makes you feel like it's going to break free at any moment. And the most impressive thing? This final scene feels like a direct confrontation with the King of Death himself. Would you dare face Yama and try to escape his realm? Because me? Well, let's just say if we ever go to Phantasialand, Walt is going in first. I'll be waiting outside with a hot dog. Leave a ghost emoji if you'd be brave enough, or a duck emoji if you'd rather be a coward with me. Number 6. Frankenstein Animatronic, Unit 70 Studios, Transworld 2025. Alright, Duck Squad. Let me tell you about something I saw recently that completely fried my circuits. Actually, why am I even trying to explain it? Just look at it! This colossal animatronic was unveiled at the Transworld's Halloween and Attraction Show 2025. The event where everyone who loves horror gathers to show off the wildest and most spectacular creations of the year. And who brought this monstrosity to life? None other than Unit 70 Studios. The same geniuses behind that terrifying Pennywise animatronic and countless other Halloween nightmares. So what makes this Frankenstein animatronic so special? Seriously, are you seeing this thing? First of all, it's huge. Not just your average animatronic. The details are on another level. Torn skin, freshly stitched seams, eyes that move with precision, and a jaw that opens with a roar you'll never forget. But the best part? Those fluid, realistic movements. It's like Frankenstein's monster just stepped off the operating table. Am I exaggerating, or is this thing really that impressive? And it doesn't stop there. Unit 70 Studios also showed off other gigantic animatronics that totally deserve a spot on this list. Like this creature, the infamous werewolf, the creature from the lagoon, and 2 others that, let's just say if I showed them here, YouTube would probably delete this video faster than I can quack. But hey, if you want to check them all out, I left a link to the video in the description. And if you do watch it, leave a comment telling Unit 70 that Lilybell, the animatronic duck, sent you. Alright, let's keep going. Which giant nightmare is next? Number 5. Giants of Mobility. Weta Workshop, Dubai Expo 2020. Oh, Duck Squad, let me tell you about something so massive that even I, with my little steel heart, was left completely petrified. And you know I'm usually super brave. What you're looking at is called Giants of Mobility, created by the masters at Weta Workshop for the Dubai Expo 2020, specifically for the mobility pavilion known as Aleph. For this exhibit, they presented 3 hyper-realistic sculptures, each standing a colossal 9 meters tall. That's about 29 feet. When I say hyper-realistic, I mean every single wrinkle and hair was crafted with jaw-dropping detail. But of course, this is Weta Workshop we're talking about, so you know they're always operating on a whole other level. These gigantic figures represent historical and futuristic characters, symbolizing the evolution of human mobility. Among them is Ibn Majid, a legendary navigator from this region. Alongside modern space explorers, it's like they wanted to showcase how humanity has progressed from early seafarers to reaching for the stars. Now here comes my dark and pessimistic thought. If we keep relying on unethical artificial intelligence, works of art like this could disappear because there won't be any artists left. So yeah, no to unethical AI. Creating each face alone took the team up to 4 weeks. Can you even imagine the dedication behind these sculptures? The entire project took a full year to complete. And the exhibit was so impressive that they decided to make it permanent. So, if you ever visit Dubai, you know where to go to feel like a tiny little duck standing next to these gigantic works of art. Would you dare stand next to one of these titans? Because I totally would. But I'd definitely bring Walt along to protect me, just in case. Number 4. Gargantua, Meropolis. Get ready for one of the strangest and most disturbing giants that ever existed. Let me introduce you to Gargantua, the massive statue that was the absolute star of the French theme park Meropolis, located in Côte-des-Manches, Val d'Oise. And by the way, shout out to all our French ducks. The park opened in 1987 and closed in 1991. But in those few years, it left an impression as weird as it was unforgettable. Why? Because it had a gigantic 35-meter tall, or 114 feet, statue representing Gargantua, a character popularized by the writer François Rabelais in the 16th century. But this wasn't just any statue. It was a full-on building. Literally, designed by architect Anne Forsade. The structure was made of metal, resin, and fiberglass, with each hand weighing around 3 tons. The base of Gargantua covered about 600 square meters, and the entire statue weighed approximately 1,000 tons. In other words, a total monstrosity. And if that wasn't enough, inside the statue there was a dark ride with a themed tour. And it even had a restaurant. Now, the terrifying part doesn't just come from the size of the structure, although that's definitely part of it. The real nightmare came with the abandonment and demolition. Metropolis shut down in 1991, but Gargantua was left there for years, abandoned like a giant corpse slowly decaying. And then, in 1995, they decided to blow it up. Yep, you heard that right. They literally dynamited Gargantua's head. Just imagine it, a colossal giant being torn apart by explosions, its head ripped off in a cloud of dust. Number 3. The giant blue whale. Via Reggio Carnival. Now we're heading all the way to Italy. So a big hug and shout out to all our Italian ducks. In my first video on this channel, I told you about that gigantic Frankenstein monster from the Via Reggio Carnival. If you haven't seen that video, I'll link it here. But you already know that this festival doesn't play around when it comes to creating colossal creatures. And today, I have something even more impressive and much sadder. We're talking about the giant blue whale, one of the most impactful floats from recent editions of the Via Reggio Carnival. This sea monster wasn't just built to impress with its size, but also to deliver a brutally real message about the pollution of our oceans. In that edition, you could see a massive blue whale moving through the crowd as if it were swimming through the streets. But the most shocking part is that its design shows the whale trapped in plastic waste and fishing nets, tangled and struggling to break free. And of course, with such a realistic design, the effect is incredibly powerful. This whale is one of the largest floats ever presented at the Via Reggio Carnival. And when I say big, I mean a true titan of metal, fiberglass, and creativity. The entire structure features advanced animatronic mechanisms that allow it to move its tail, open and close its mouth, and even turn its head with impressive fluidity. All of this is accompanied by lights and sound effects, just in case the message wasn't clear enough. This animatronic was specifically designed to raise awareness about the devastating impact of pollution on marine life. And I gotta say, they definitely got their point across. And if you're curious about the other gigantic creatures that appeared in this festival, make sure to check out my previous video about Frankenstein, and drop me a comment if you want me to keep diving into these colossal creations, or maybe even rank the best floats ever. I'm reading all your comments. Number 2. Murph, the giant robot from Muse. Imagine you're at a chill concert, just vibing and enjoying your favorite band. And then bam! Out of nowhere, this gigantic nightmare shows up with zero context. You'd probably die of fright. And honestly, even with context, it's still terrifying. And in case you didn't know, Muse is one of my all-time favorite bands. So I had to take this opportunity to talk about Murph, a giant inflatable robot that Muse used during their Simulation Theory World Tour in 2019. Here's the context. Murph shows up on stage as part of the show during the Metal Medley, and he's so big he literally looks like he's about to crush the audience with his sheer presence. He was designed by Airworks Inflatables, a group of geniuses from the Netherlands. By the way, shout out to all our Dutch ducks. They created 2 versions of the robot, a smaller one for arena shows, and a massive one for full stadium concerts. But Murph isn't just some giant inflatable prop. He has an internal puppet system that allows him to move his head, arm, and even open and close his mouth. And to make things even crazier, he's got lights that shine down on the audience, like he's scanning everyone for humans. Or worse, for animatronic ducks. So why does Muse use Murph? Well, he's part of the whole retro-futuristic aesthetic of the album Simulation Theory, inspired by 80s pop culture, and tons of virtual reality theories. Basically, Murph represents the struggle between humanity and technology, a theme that keeps popping up in Muse's music. Plus, he's inspired by the creator that appears in the music video for The Dark Side. And here's the wild part. Murph even has his own lore. According to the tour's narrative, he's like a guardian or creator who appears during the show, almost as if he's been summoned by the sheer power of music. And yeah, he's also there because he looks incredibly cool and terrifying at the same time. So, do you guys like Muse too? Or am I the only animatronic duck totally obsessed with them? Let me know. Number 1. Shirahoshi, the giant mermaid from One Piece. In 2012, Fuji TV decided to take the world of One Piece to the next level by creating a giant sculpture of Shirahoshi. the most iconic mermaid princess from the series. This colossal tribute was part of the Shirahoshi Mermaid Park event in Odaiba, Tokyo, and it was a total spectacle. The statue stood at an impressive 15 meters tall, almost 50 feet, making it practically the size of a small building. But it wasn't just there to be admired. It was interactive. The sculpture included a slide that allowed visitors to slide down from the top. Why did they turn her into a slide? I have no idea. But apparently everyone loved the idea. The event was open to the public from July 14th to September 2nd, 2012. This installation was part of the promotion for the Fishman Island arc in One Piece, a crucial moment in the story where Shirahoshi plays a fundamental role. Unfortunately, we couldn't find many videos, but here's what we managed to dig up. The sculpture of Shirahoshi was designed to highlight her massive size and her iconic status as the princess of the Ryugu Kingdom. Unfortunately, the statue was removed after the event ended. Today, the giant Shirahoshi only exists in photos and the memories of those who were lucky enough to see her. And that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed the list. Don't forget to subscribe and let me know if you want another part.